On your exam, any shape with 4 sides will be known as a quadrilateral, and there are a few basic rules that are going to be common to all quadrilaterals. The first being that the 4 interior angles will always add up to 360 degrees. So if I call my top left angle x, I could write the equation that x plus 100 plus 100 plus 80 is equal to 360. Or x plus 280 is equal to 360, or simply that x is equal to 80. The standard formula for the area of a quadrilateral is the area is equal to your base times your height. The only requirement for the height is that your height has to hit the base at a 90-degree angle, and it has to hit both bases at a 90-degree angles, which requires that your two bases are parallel. This shape is known as a parallelogram, where both my top and my bottom base are the exact same measure, in this case 8 meters. So it really doesn't matter which side I use as my base. In shapes like this trapezoid, where you have two bases that are parallel but they have different measure, it obviously would matter a lot which base you chose when you calculated your area. What you actually do is you have to average the two bases. So in this case, our formula would be my first base, which is 6, plus my second base, which is 3, divide that by 2, that gives me my average base, and then I'll multiply that times my height. So in this case, my area becomes 9 over 2 times 5, or 45 over 2. Rectangles and squares are special shapes where the base and the height are actually the same length as any two perpendicular sides. So in this case, the area of my square would just be 7 times 7, or 7 squared, or 49. And my rectangle's area would just be 2 times 3.1. You should also be aware of the special categories of quadrilaterals. A trapezium is a quadrilateral with nothing special. All 4 sides and all 4 angles are different. A trapezoid is a quadrilateral with exactly one set of parallel lines. An isosceles trapezoid is a trapezoid with exactly 2 sets of equal angles. Whereas a trapezoid had exactly one set of parallel sides, a parallelogram has 2 sets of parallel sides. A kite has 2 sets of adjacent sides that are the same length. A rhombus is a quadrilateral with all 4 sides exactly the same length. A rectangle is a parallelogram with a right angle, and a square is a rhombus with a right angle. This problem here is asking us to combine our knowledge of quadrilaterals with our previous knowledge of lines and angles. The problem tells us we're dealing with a parallelogram, so we've got 2 sets of intersecting parallel lines. If you recall from your lines and angles video, when you have parallel lines intersected by a transversal, there's really only 2 angles created. And we can label those angles either skinny or fat. And you'll recall that when you have parallel lines cut by a transversal and you have your fat and skinny angles, any fat angle is equal to another fat angle, any skinny angle is equal to another skinny angle, and any fat plus any skinny will be equal to 180 degrees. So that means this fat angle of 140 degrees plus my skinny angle must equal 180. So my skinny angle is equal to 40 degrees. Now I know any other skinny angle, including my x, is also 40 degrees. And any other fat angle, including my angle here, 2y, will be equal to 140. So if 2y is equal to 140, then y must be equal to 70, and then y minus x will simply be equal to 70 minus 40, or 30 degrees.